All right, good morning. Bear with me. Good morning, everyone. How we doing? Should I wear my hat today? Welcome back. How'd the roof repair go? Done. Thank God. Roof repair is complete. We'll see, man. We'll see if it, we'll see if it leaks again. But welcome back, everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic morning. Yeah, circle yesterday, incredible. Really, really nice. We'll see if it can hold the 196 today. Looks like possibly another entry point today, which could be great. I wouldn't mind looking for it again today with a longer dated contract. So, yeah, very interesting again. The idea yesterday, the game plan yesterday, the gap fill idea was about as perfect as it gets. So we came into yesterday with the idea that the SPY could fill that downside gap to ensure that we're understanding of the gap below before we get too aggressive to the long side. Man, that is exactly what happened. Right into our 519, right into, or 619, sorry. Right into our 619 SPY, right into some of our, our NASDAQ 22,800 level. All of our levels we talked about on the live stream yesterday, holding perfectly after the gap fill to the downside. I mean, it couldn't have been better. It was spot on. The hats come in they right now only come in the mentorship like merch box that we provide, but maybe in the future we'll give those. I also got these. Hold on. Got them under the desk here. Little Nike Polo. Go out golfing with this one soon. Probably shouldn't have did black, but that's all right. We got the insiders. We're like a merch store over here, man. All right. Toast, yeah, Toast Chef, definitely looking good. I need to relook at that one this morning. Toast has been incredible. Uber yesterday, our 94 level on Uber, perfect. So some really nice stuff yesterday. Hopefully you guys came to the live stream. Hopefully you're prepared with me. Hopefully that was able to make you some money. Wow, margin, 21,000 on Circle. Damn. Hell yeah, margin. Done. That's done for the month right there, man. Boom, baby. You ordered merch a while ago? Hasn't come? Really? Blessed, hit me up, man. I'm not sure why. You should have gotten that. So hit me up. Shoot me a message. All right, let's get started. If you guys could, before we start, please press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. All you have to do is wake up. Yesterday, that's our quote, right? Actually, our quote of the day. Successful trading requires doing things that are emotionally painful. I think this is pretty true. I did like it this morning, that quote, when I read it. The decisions we make in the intraday when we're trading sometimes just don't really jive with our emotion. They don't feel right. There's not that comfort level. But that is sometimes what trading requires. It requires you at times to be a little bit uncomfortable when it comes to emotion. There's a difference between what is correct and what is possibly like comfortable, right? There's a disconnect there. Not everything that's correct is comfortable. So it's sort of that fine line with our emotions. And I think that's a pretty true quote today. All right, let's jump in. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me swap on over here. And let me make sure we got everything set up correctly. All right, move this over here. and let's get started with some key levels. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. We got 1,200 people, 400 likes. 1,200 people, 400 likes. All right, so NASDAQ futures. Yesterday, we came into the day with a few major spots. Let's go down to the 15-minute chart and let's take a look at what happened here yesterday. So yesterday, we talked about the 23,000 level being a potential rejection as the roofers were on my ceiling, right? My roof. 23,000 rejection, 23,000 rejection. We knew those were possible failures on the NASDAQ futures, right? Right here, right here, right here. Very clear. So yesterday starts, we fail that level, we continue lower, and we fail under our highs right here, right? This was our next spot, that 915 spot. We said, hey, if we fail back under those highs and we fail back under these lows, we could get that continuation down to the 22,800. And I mean, that is literally exactly what happened yesterday. It could not have been better. We failed under this level, we went to the next level, and it's exactly where this level held, and now we are reclaiming back above these highs. Just beautiful stuff. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Level to level trading. I mean, it's just awesome. It's just awesome to see, right? When these levels that have not been changed are the exact things that are reacting on the market. It's very, very cool to watch the market react to your zones that you create, right? And this is just this just helps your trading so much when you know exactly the reactions that could happen at key levels. So we have that very strong demand hold at the 22.8, 22.780, our exact low a day that we had coming into the live stream yesterday. That is the exact low that bounces straight back up. And now we can see that these lows, right, are starting to attempt a hold again. And if this holds here today, if we see a strong hold above this 915 to 890 area, I would assume that this market's going to fuel back to the upside. And I would say the fuel back to the upside goes to at least 23,000. And if it goes over 23,000, I think you're heading to that 23,100 all-time high again, right? So today on the NASDAQ futures, my game plan here on the NQ is going to be to look for a hold here at 22,890. If I see buyers develop here, right, and I see very strong demand holding at these lows here, at these previous lows here, right, and also after putting these shorts here underwater, I believe that that could be a fuel back to the upside, back towards 23,000, which is this high and this high, and that would be where I would then look to see if 23,000 breaks and holds on a break and retest, and if we get that, then I would be very clearly targeting these highs right here. I think this is a very good watch today. Doesn't have to happen, but I think it makes a lot of sense to look for it. The only way this market goes lower is if you fail back under the 890 level. You will have to fail back under 890, turn this back into a rejection point, turn these lows and these lows and these highs right here back into a rejection point. If you see that happen and this area right here fails and we see something like this, then you're heading right back down to that 800 spot. So it is all based off of, in my opinion, this zone here today. Between that 890 and 915, a little bit of a zone on the NQ, that's going to be the spot to watch. Very, very nice. All right. So that's the NQ. Very easy there today. ES, a little bit more sloppy, just a little bit, but there's a very key sort of brick wall below, a floor, just a very strong buying. And that's really all north of around 62.25, 62.35, which is also that previous all-time high. So on the S&P 500, you can clearly see these lows, and these lows that stepped up last week, right? Clearly did not want to break below those lows. And anything north of that, right? Anything from this low to, where we're trading now, this whole area, in my opinion, is just all buying, all demand. I would not be shorting inside of this area. The only short for me on this market would be a very clear fail right under 25, right under this Monday and Tuesday low. If you are to break under that low and you reject there, then you are very clearly breaking down towards this low and this 61.83. But I would not want to be a short back into these lows and back into pretty much this entire range here. You can see yesterday we did fail our 62.80 spot, 62.70 spot that we were talking about, this 62.70, 62.80 spot. We did fail below that, and we did get some downside, but that downside, once again, was very short-lived, down into this major demand low. So really not that interesting to be short, in my opinion, after seeing this reaction. If anything, today I am looking for that same read as we were looking for on the NQ. On the ES, I am basically looking to see if the ES can hold back above this low, this high, right, and this 62.70 spot. If the ES can continue to maintain 62.70, then I think you are going to trade back higher, back towards the 63.15 high that rejected yesterday. If you fail back under this 62.70 and you start to see this become a rejection point, then I would agree that you probably will see another downside move back to the 62.35. So it's all about what happens here, in my opinion, at this high here and these lows here, right at 62.70. I think is the most important level to watch today. If you hold that, then I would not be looking short. I would actually be looking to see if this fuels the next upside move to, sort of make back this downside from yesterday intraday. Target would be 63.15. Over that, you're going to all-time highs. Okay. SPY, we talked about the gap, right? We had that daily chart. We said, hey, there's a gap on this daily chart and we might need to fill that gap. And that is exactly what happened, right? You can see this gap right here in the daily that was filled. And that was perfect, man. That was our exact game plan. And you love to see it. Our target on the downside was 619, and that is exactly the low of day. Pretty much, right? Give or take a few points because of this sort of wick. But we were talking about these previous highs at 619, 618.80. And look at where the market held yesterday. It could not have been more perfect. This is a great time to give you the snake oil salesman pitch. If you want these levels on your charts every day, man, go down below. You can either join the Discord or you can go ahead and go down to the key levels, and you will get these levels on your charts every day. We provide this link to that group, both TOS and TradingView. And that price is absolutely going up. So if you want these levels on your charts, which are just, they were pinpoint accurate again yesterday, really, really nice stuff. So beautiful previous highs right there, 618, 619, 618.80, 619. Perfect low a day, bouncing off that. Now, there's a very key thing that I think needs to happen today on the SPY, and that is right here. That is right here. These lows right here, I believe you need to see these break on the SPY. 622.50 here, right? Look at how that failed intraday yesterday. That was perfection. So we had a little fail back under that level, right? See this little break, retest, rejection? That was perfection. Break, retest, rejection, perfection. Let's look at that on the short term, right? You can see right here. We had that 622, 622.50. It failed. It rejected, right? It came back up, rejected. It came back up and smacked down. So a beautiful fail underneath our 622.50, right? Underneath that pre-market low, you have pre-market lows, and you have, well, that's actually the overnight low. And you have, look at that right there. Look at that flip. This is what you want to look for on the markets. Key flips. Support into rejections. Look at how that flipped perfectly yesterday. So today, what are you looking for? You're looking for that to flip back to the upside if you're looking for upside, right? If this flips back to holds, right, and you see this hold back over 622.50, then I think you're very clearly going back to 625, and I think you're probably going back to all-time highs, right? So that's what I want to see today. I want to see if the SPY can flip back over 622.50. If it can, then I like upside. If it can't, then I think you have found your probably no trade zone today, right? if the SPY stays under 622.50 and is above 619, what do you expect today? A lot of this. A lot of push and pull, right? Because what's going to happen? You're going to get downside. Buyers are going to step up. Back to the upside. Sellers are going to take it back down. Buyers are going to step up, right? Sellers back down. And then you're just going to do this all day. So I really don't think you want to be involved in that, personally. I would just say, hey, if we get over 622.50, I like that reclaim long into that 625. Or if we get under that 618.80, 619 area, then I'm going to look for that potential failure again back to 615. But I'm not going to trade within that channel. I'm just going to wait for a key inflection to happen, a key inflection point intraday off a key major level, right? And that's it. That's it. That's how you stop yourself from trading all day and trading in chop. QQQ, I think looks even more bullish. What level did we talk about on the QQQ yesterday? We went back to last week and we talked about that crazy reaction on Wednesday of last week. What level was that off of? Who remembers? We did this on the live stream. If you're paying attention, which if you're not, wake up and press the like button. We talked about this on the live stream yesterday. We said 549 to 550. We saw that crazy reaction off that level last week, all right? This was back on last Wednesday. So we looked at this. We were paying attention to what happened here at this 549, 550. Crazy hold that came in. What was the low of day yesterday? $549, $550. Spot on. So that's key levels at work. That is levels leveling. We also had the 522.50 spot, which we did break and reject, right? We had a previous hold in the morning that turned into rejections. That led to the downside. Perfect. Today, what are we doing? Today, we are reclaiming and holding back above those highs. Now, let me show you why those highs are so important. Take a look at this right here. 522.50, rejection, rejection. Look at what's happening right now. Holding perfectly above 522.50 after bouncing again off our exact 550, 549. So what does this remind you of? This reminds me of an inverse head and shoulder. All right? This reminds me of an inverse head and shoulder. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. If this is a, dip buying opportunity and a lot of these sellers are both underwater now and we refueled buyers back at our key demand, then this is, in my opinion, going higher. That's just simply what I would expect to see when I look at this formation. You have reclaimed back above these highs. You are holding them back as support. That is very good. And you can very clearly have a thesis today. Your thesis is, hey, if the Qs are back over 552.50, then I'm long. Anything above that, we should be good to hold. If we fail under it, then we flip back to the short side and we move back to 550. But over 552.50, you're going to trade up into 555. Over 555, you're going to all-time highs. There's really no question about that if you get over 555. Okay? Very easy, very clear. All you have to do is trade off the levels and not include emotion in your analysis. Just don't include emotion in your analysis, and I think you'll be just fine today. IWM, pullback longs, working. As long as you're over 217.50, I think pullback longs are spot on. Dow Jones. Okay, we got a nice pull. Oh, we finally got this pullback on Dow. That's good. We've got this pullback. We've been waiting for this pullback on Dow. This is the spot to watch. Remember this high? And we said, hey, we might need to come back to this. Look at that. Perfect hold on the Dow. So I would definitely be watching that spot today. I'm actually going to create an alert and make sure I know if it breaks. Right there at 44,440 area. All right. We have less than 1,000 likes, and that is not good. Press that like button for me. Laura, appreciate that, Laura. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the Desi Coffee Fund. I already drank my espresso today, but I'll make another one for you. Press the like button, subscribe to the channel. All right. Let's move on to SMH. SMH. What did we say about SMH yesterday? What did we say about SMH yesterday? Who remembers this analysis? $278. We said we might need to give back some of this straight up move back down to the 278 spot. What did the SMH do yesterday? 278. Perfection. Key levels, understanding, just having a clear mind and a just not a bias fueled mindset. We know that the SMH can't just go straight up like this and not give back something, right? So the SMH did exactly that. It failed back under 283. It gave us the pullback to 278, and it's bouncing off that today, potentially providing some beautiful opportunities on semiconductors again today, back to the upside, right? So previous highs here, 278 SMH pullback. That is really good. What do we need to watch out for today? Well, let's see if we can get back over 283. If we can get back over 283, you're going 285. You're probably going new all-time highs. So let's watch 283. Let's watch 278. That's now the range that I would be watching. And let's see if the SMH can get above. There's absolutely some interesting semiconductor pullbacks that happened yesterday that I would be very much paying attention to. So let's go and start with Tesla real quick, because Tesla pretty much did what we expected, just a total shit show between 290, 295. I do not recommend trading Tesla if it's above 290 and if it's below 305. I don't recommend it. The only place you trade Tesla is possibly a pop and fade 305 or a long above 305 for a gap fill into this 312. Or the only other option is a fail under 290. That's the only other option. I would not long 290 personally. Not interesting to me. Stock's too weak, so I don't really like that long off 290. I would not look for this. That's not interesting to me. What's interesting to me to the upside? It's only this, right? This is the only interesting upside move for me. Over 305 into 312. That's it. I don't like anything else. I don't want to go against this sort of shit show, if I was to be honest. That's really what it is. So if anything, I'm looking for fake pops to fail at 305. I'm looking for fails under 290 for downside into 275. Or maybe, just maybe, I'm looking for a hold above 305 for gap fills into 312. That's really it. That's the only trades I'm interested in. If it's not there, if it's not that, I'm not interested. Tesla, you really need to be careful lately, guys. Tesla has been a very, very, very difficult stock. It really... Like, the moves have been very subdued. The intradays are terrible. It's all after hours action. I just really don't recommend it right now, especially not for new traders, right? You guys that are experienced, you know what the hell you're doing. Don't listen to my advice, right? You know what you're doing. But to the new traders out there, man, I would not be involved in this. Do not get involved in Tesla. There are so many better stocks to trade, so many, that just provide such better opportunities, including semiconductors as of late. So, NVIDIA. What did NVIDIA do yesterday? Didn't really pull back with the semiconductor sector, which is great, right? Very strong outperformance on NVIDIA, just sort of consolidating sideways, holding above the Wednesday high. Wednesday high, Monday low. Look at that. Wednesday high rejections. Look at Monday's lows. Perfect flip, perfect hold above. You're curling to the upside off that level, 160. If we can get a hold above 160 today, I would absolutely think that NVIDIA is going to try to rocket to new highs. That is definitely what I'm watching today. NVIDIA 160, big watch. Let's see what it does. I like the outperformance yesterday. I like the consolidation above Wednesday's highs. That's very good. Let's see if we can curl higher over 160 and rocket this thing to new highs. Definitely watching. AMD, another major watch. What a beautiful watch. Look at this, man. AMD, we said, hey, we might need a pullback to 132, 133. What did we do? We pulled back to 132, 133. We pulled back closer to that daily 20. It's not quite there yet, but it's getting closer. Look at this. 132, 133, good pullbacks. You're starting to maybe potentially curl back to the upside. What do you need here on AMD to just send this thing? I think if you can get back over 140, 141 here, if you can turn this back into support, you're going to rocket higher on this thing. I would absolutely watch this. I don't think it's a terrible idea to try to long 133 into 140, but that's not really the situation you have right now, folks, right? If you long here, you're risking 5 points to make 3 points. So it's just not a good risk reward right there. Not interesting, right? So what would you actually want to wait for at this point? Well, there's two things you need to wait for. Either a pullback to 133 for a long or a break and retest above 140s, right? So there's only two trades here. It's not, hey, I'm going to long here and then get smacked at 141 and then, you know, say that the market's manipulated. No, it's because you chased your entry right into supply. So what I would wait for here is probably, honestly, it's probably a hold over 140, but maybe you let 141 clear out. Just look for demand stepping up in between this zone, right? If you start seeing this zone holding up, then I think you absolutely look for that upside. ARM, pretty much the same story here. Looking for ARM to hold back above this 148 and the daily 20 SMA today. Nice pullback on ARM yesterday. We talked about letting this trade come to us, and if we longed it before the daily 20, then look what happened to us, all right? So this trade is coming to us, which is great. It's giving us that opportunity. We have previous highs here around 148, 149. You're sitting right at it today. If this can hold above today and start to push higher, I'm very interested to see if this 20 SMA is going to hold ARM higher on a semiconductor bounce back. What I would prefer before entering this trade is a hold back above 152. You have 152 major lows here. If you can get a hold back above 152 like this, I would look to long 152. With a stop loss under that 20 SMA, right? There's my stop loss, and I'd be targeting a pushback to 158 and possibly higher. So watching this closely, alert set at 152. That's that. The levels in that's, yeah, you got to wait for me to do that in Desi TA in the Discord. So, all right. ARM, that's that. MU, daily 20, you guys can see right here, daily 20 SMA, MU, sort of interesting there. And then, what was the next one I wanted to look at on the semis? ARM, AMD, MU, oh, Broadcom, NTSM. Broadcom, no pullback yesterday. I mean, just incredible. This stock just doesn't pull back. I mean, I guess you say you sort of pulled back, but not really. It held exactly over our 272, 268. Can you break over 277 today? If you can, you're looking for this again. This stock is incredible. Broadcom, best semiconductor stock out there, maybe besides NVIDIA. They're pretty much on par for me. 277 Broadcom, incredible stock. Keep watching it. TSM, don't love this on TSM. I don't love this rejection under 230, right? I really don't. So I would probably want to see this clear out 230 today, guys. On the TSM side. So yeah, I would probably just set an alert, see if it can break over 230. If not, I'd probably stay away from now. Our MRVL's been sucky. I wouldn't be trading that. GEV, yeah, best trade ever, man. GEV, best long-term call out we've ever had probably on this channel. Incredible stock. Just incredible. Bought this, I don't even know when we bought this. Did we buy this back in, like, we bought this last year at some point. Love this stock, love everything about it. Never selling it. Let it go. All right. We're going to go into Meta because Meta is potentially still setting up our long idea here, folks. And I know a lot of you are going to forget about this one. But this is something that's forming still. Previous major highs. Let's see if it can hold, right? Look at this. Previous high, previous high, previous high. Hold, 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 hold. On the 4-hour chart. Daily 20 SMA catching up. This is still very interesting. I would need a break over 729 to get a push into the 740 all-time high. Snow, who remembers this one? Or who forgot, right? We've been talking about Snow for a few weeks now. Look at Snow. Previous highs, Snow. Look at these lows. Daily 20 SMA caught up. Look at that right there. That's exactly what we look for. Look at the reaction. Snow is over 225. If we get a hold over 225 and this turns into support today, I would absolutely be looking for this today. This is one of my top watches, Snow over 225. After this 4-hour, beautiful break and retest hold, right? Look at that. Beautiful stuff. Keep an eye on Snow today, no doubt. Let's go to Let's go to Amazon, Google. Amazon still setting up, man. Look at this hold over that 222. This was one of our top watches yesterday. Take a look at this, right? 222, 222, break, retest, holding. What do we need? Break over 225. Have your alert set. Very clear. Google. Really just consolidation above the daily 20, daily 200, which is still very bullish. So I would continue to watch to see if that maintains. Apple gave you a pullback off the 215. We've been waiting for 215 to be the breakout level. It did not. It failed as expected. No surprises here. Apple is pulling back to the retest level. Now, this could be where you get interested on Apple, right? Everyone's interested in Apple at 215 supply highs, looking to long a breakout, but no one's interested back at 208. Why is that? Right? That's because majority of traders lose. Okay, that's just a simple fact, guys. That's just, maybe, we have a small sample size here, right? 2,400 people. This could be the winning group. But there's millions of others that just lose. And so why do they lose? It's because they're asking me how to, to long Apple into supply highs. And then when it goes down into 208, they say it's a piece of shit and they're no longer interested. And then when it goes back to 215, then they're interested again, right? It's the same wheel of emotional just being incorrect. I mean, that's really what it is. So what am I trying to say? Well, it's probably right to be more interested in Apple now versus being interested at 215 supply highs, right? Wouldn't that make sense, logical sense? So I would keep an eye on Apple today. Does it hold 208? Does it create a high or low here at 208 after this pullback? And does it provide a much better risk-reward opportunity back to 215 or even back to 225? Yeah, probably, right? Probably. So keep an eye on it. 208, see if it holds today. Let's keep an eye. I'm not sure I would long it day one, but if this thing holds 208 today and starts to maintain through the rest of the week, then I'm going to start to get interested on that. That's a nice spot, no doubt. Uber, incredible trade yesterday. One of the best trades in a long time for me. 55% plus into end of day. I mean, it's just textbook. It's just textbook analysis to execution, guys. We talked about this yesterday in the live stream. 94, 94, 94, clear all-time high. What do we look for? Break and retest of all-time high. And if we go to the intraday, we got exactly that. You got a break over 94. You got a retest into VWAP. This was VWAP. Right around here was VWAP during that day. And I just took my long stop loss under 94, and I let that baby move, and it moved. So beautiful stuff. Break and retest over that key level. Didn't quite get back to that key level, but I was just accepting of that 75-point risk, right? 75-cent risk, right? I entered around 94.75, which was right around here. And I was accepting of 75 cents on the underlying. And I basically just took profits into the squeeze, and I still hold some into today. Incredible trade. We've been waiting for 94 Uber, and we caught it. So really nice execution. And let's see if it can continue, man. Let's see. Congrats to those that took it with me. Netflix, really interesting consolidation, is still here. 1305, 1263. Let's keep an eye on that. You can clearly see I have my alert set, waiting for something there. Palantir, one of my top watches today. Why is that? Why is Palantir a top watch? Well, it's because it reclaimed back above this key level. It reclaimed back above these highs, these lows, these lows, these lows, and it reclaimed back above it. Daily 20 SMA now trading below price action. If we get a hold of that daily 20 today on a little pullback, and if we maintain 135, 136, I think this could potentially be the rocket fuel to new highs. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, little inverse head and shoulder formation here. If we can hold above 135, 136, man. And if we get this little 140 squeeze, I think you're going right back to here, right? Make back for this straight down move. This is very interesting today on Palantir. Definitely one of my top watches. Oklo, sort of interesting over 60, but we're not quite there yet. I have my alert set. Coinbase, watch over 364 today, please. This is very interesting as well. Got an alert at 364. Keep an eye on that. And finally, the big trade of the day yesterday, Circle. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm going to be giving back some profits today on this downside move, but incredible trade. Took half off into this squeeze, holding half into today. We'll see. 196, if it holds, then it's great. I'm going to continue to hold, but it looks like going to be giving back some profits today, holding some overnight. Looked great. Absolutely looked even good into the after hours off this 210. Right, you can see this 210 was trying to hold into the after hours, but it looks like you're just getting some selling into it today. So we'll see. 196 is the key level that needs to hold for me. You can see right here, 196, this previous low right here, this high right here, and let's see if 196 can hold again. This could really be a second entry, so I'm not going to be too concerned about the open position. I want to be really focused on what this does at 196 today. You can see right here, here's your lows, here's your highs. Right, I should probably reverse those colors. Here's your lows, here's your highs. Can this turn back into a low today? Can we have a little break and retest of 196 on a larger time frame? So very interesting. If that does turn into support today at 196, I would absolutely be targeting, a move back to the upside, back towards that 210. Let's see what happens at this 196 today. If we fail it, then it might be time to cut my loss. All right. I don't know, maybe loss, still win net, but possibly, definitely a loss on the day. So we'll see. We'll see how it ends up. Hood, yeah, just sort of consolidating right now. Really not much. I would say you need a key level to hit 90, 99, sort of right in no man's land for me. So I would sort of set alerts here, just see if it can come back down to these key levels. All right, guys. That's going to be it. 2,500 people here, feeling nice, 1,500 likes. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. Thanks for joining the coffee fund. That's it. If you guys want to trade live with me every day, check it out down below. Link in the description. If you want the key levels, check it out down below as well. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Golf Nut, you want SoFi? Let me do it. I'll do it for you, Golf Nut. SoFi, damn, nice, SoFi. Is that all-time highs? No, not yet. Sort of looks like you want 25, no? I don't really see why it would stop before that, but, look at it. This is just sort of like, this is crazy. That's pretty wild. I would say if this thing stays full steam ahead, then you're just going to head to these highs here. It's sort of just straight up, straight down. It's sort of strange. I've never seen a stock do it, that wide of a range that perfectly. That's crazy. What a trading opportunity this was back here, right? Just short here, long here, short here, long here, short here, and get like 100% each time. Look at that. That's 80% each swing. That's wild. But in all honesty, it looks like this 17 spot is probably a really good pullback area, like 17 to 1650, if you can get it. You might have already got that though, right? You may have already got that, right here. See these highs? You sort of already got that pullback here on the 4 hour. See this? That's sort of that pullback right there. So that could be over, right? That could possibly be over. This high right here is like 8, so let's just call it 18. That could possibly be your next potential entry point if you could get a pullback to 18. If you don't get a pullback to 18, then this thing might be gone, to be honest. You're going to have to just trade the highs at this point, right? Trade the previous highs. That's really all you could do on a move like this. You just trade pullbacks to previous highs, right? So next previous high would be like right here. What a hold of that yesterday. Jeez. Yeah, that's how you trade these stocks, guys. You just trade previous highs. So what did SoFi do yesterday? Look at this. High, high, low. All right, that's what you guys have to look for. What's the previous high? Can I get a long off previous high? That's how you trade these moves in a strong trend. So previous high, right around like 1930 area. Maybe you watch that today. Or you even look for maybe a deeper pullback to this 1870 spot, right? 1880. It's the only way to go long on a runner like this is keep watching pullbacks to previous highs. All right, guys. Hope you have a fantastic day. Appreciate all the support. Press the like button. Subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Peace and love.